There are a few things that you're going to need to do to make sure you have the software and the hardware necessary to use ForScan to change the modifications of your vehicle. First, you're going to want to go to forscan.org. There's going to be several links. There are going to be two that are important for you. One is the ForScan program that you're going to download onto your computer. Unfortunately, it's just for Windows. It's this one here marked on my screen. You also will want to get the extended license. That's where you're going to input your information into the program for your vehicle. That's this one here. You're going to download both of those. You're going to install that program on your Windows computer, and then I will show you how to put the license into the program. The next thing you're going to need is some hardware that will enable your computer to communicate with your vehicle. So you're going to need an OBD device that's either connected via USB or Bluetooth. I have linked 4 different devices that are recommended by the guy online who knows the most about ForScan, so you can plug your OBD into your vehicle and then plug the USB into your computer or communicate via Bluetooth. So there's 4 different options. This one here happens to be the least expensive option and is a USB option. One very important thing you need to know before you can proceed with anything is you need to install the drivers for the OBD connector that you purchased. Whether it's Bluetooth or USB, you have to install the drivers on your computer first, or it will not work. It's not just plug and play. The next thing you're going to want to do is open ForScan now that it's installed. And this is the screen you'll get. You go down to that bottom left button that looks kind of like a steering wheel. And you're going to click on that. And this is where you are going to input your license. So click on the button that says activation code and input the extended license that you received from ForScan. Now we need to connect the computer to your car. So click on the car button in the upper left and then the connect button there at the bottom. It'll want to make sure that the switch on your device is on the HS CAN position, and depending on the device you get, that may not even be a thing. It could do both at the same time. And if you've done this before, it'll ask you to confirm your profile. And then it'll connect to the different modules. Once it's got through them, you have to flip the switch on the device to the other side, and then it'll connect to the remaining modules, and then you'll be done and you're connected. However, before you make any changes, you're going to want to back up all of the default settings. So go into that little chip icon on the left, and then one by one you're going to go through all the as-built functions. Then you click on the little play device on the bottom left, the triangle, and it will give you some warnings. It'll read through it. It may ask you to flip the switch depending on which side it's on, and then it'll bring up these codes, and you're just going to hit the Save All button, and then just pick a name. This is the APIM module, so I named it APIM Original, and then these are going to be my default settings that I can restore to if something happens in the future and I screw something up and want to go back to the way it was. So definitely do this for every as-built line item here. Then you're going to want to take a look at the spreadsheet. It's a Google Doc spreadsheet. I don't know who created it. It's probably a lot of people. I have linked it. It is available for public use, and all you have to do is make sure you have the right vehicle. This is for the 2015 to 2019 Ford F-150s. And then you're just going to go through and read the options and decide which options you want based on the vehicle you have. Obviously, not all of them will work for all of you. For example, there's one in there where you can add the steering wheel heating button and the seat heating and cooler buttons to the climate screen. So you don't have to use the hard button, you can use the software. But that's not going to matter if you do not have a heated steering wheel in your vehicle. So you got to go through the options and figure out which ones of these are the changes that I want to make. And then the spreadsheet will tell you which module you want to open and which changes you want to make. So you're going to want to be very thorough and careful when you're reading that spreadsheet. The X's in the spreadsheet represent values that you do not change. Every other value is what you change. So if it says 0xxxx, then you're only going to change the first digit to 0, and whatever the remaining default digits are in your settings, you leave alone. And the spreadsheet's going to tell you first which module to open, and then which row under the module you're going to change, and then which specific digit in the actual characters you're going to change. Okay, so let's try one. I have to go into the DDM module, so I'm going to hit play. I believe this is for the auto folding mirrors. When the warning comes up, it's telling you you're making changes. Don't mess around if you don't know what you're doing. And you may need to flip the switch depending on which setting it's on and which one you pick. And then it's going to pull up the module configuration, and here you're going to see all the different rows that you can change and the values you can change. So you got to make sure you have the right row and the right column, and you're going to refer to the spreadsheet for that. And remember, you're only going to change the values where they have values in them that isn't the lowercase x. If it's the lowercase x, you leave it alone. So for this change, I had to go to 740-03-01 and make a change in the middle two values of the first column, and then I had to make another change to 740-12-01, where for the very first value it had to be an F. And so once I have made all the changes, I got to go down and click on the Write All button. I'm going to say yes, make the change. Then it's going to write it, confirm again. It can be scary, but you got to confirm it. And then once it completes, it'll tell you to turn your vehicle off and turn it back on. Now, important to note, your vehicle should not be completely on. It should be in accessory mode. So you're going to, if you got a push button start, you push the button without holding the brake down, and you'll be in accessory mode. And here you're just going to push it again to turn it off, and then push it again to turn it on. Then you push that little stop button. And in this case, I had to make changes to both the DDM and the PDM. And so basically, once you've done the one change, do the other change, and then your change should be done. Then once you've made all your changes, you're going to go back up to that car icon with the eye on it. Then you're going to click on the disconnect button, and your truck should now be modded.